chapter 9 will help you understand Rasa better. Yeah. After this chapter is over, then you take some time to evaluate yourself. Do I really see the Rasa in daily routine, with family members, with neighbors, with the boss, with the colleague, with the enemy, with a relative that is jealous of you, with all of them? In every single arising, can you simply see it as Rasa without labeling? That is the self-evaluation that you have to do after we complete chapter 9. Is the self-evaluation very clear? Yeah. And if you feel that, no, I am still not getting it, then be honest. It's okay to step out of Atma Darshan and move to Atma Nirvriti. Give yourself enough time, sufficient time to come to that point where you recognize Rasa. Otherwise, it's just like a running race, running race of textual, spiritual knowledge. That's not what we want to do here, right? Here we want the experiential recognition of the inner wisdom. Very clear? So let's begin today. Atma Darshan, chapter 9, Jnana. Look at the translation. Jnana has not been translated here as wisdom. It is translated as self. Look at the chapter name. Look at the level at which this chapter is. Jnana is the self, not wisdom. Yeah. Earlier, what did you learn? Jnana is wisdom. Jnana is not knowledge. This is what we learned earlier. What was the difference between wisdom and knowledge that we learned? We learned that knowledge is only an idea, a concept, a thought. It belongs to the mind. Yes, it is borrowed knowledge. It is intellectually known. Yeah, it is not seen. That is why many people go the path of belief. This idea, this concept seems right, intellectually seems very logical, so I'm going to believe in it blindly. No, that belief is also knowledge only. It is not your wisdom. What was wisdom? Wisdom is the conviction that comes from actually seeing the truth. Only actual seeing is wisdom. This is what we learned. Yeah? Now, in Atma Darshan at chapter 9 level, inner seeing is seeing of the self. Recognizing everything as me. So Jnana is the self. Is the title clear? Yeah. When I recognize Rasa, I see that is me. The ugly, the beautiful is me. The pleasant, the unpleasant is me. The right, the wrong is me. It is all me. That is Jnana. Yeah, so you might feel, oh, I have heard all this before. No, that was a different level at which you heard it before. Now this is one level up. This is one level up. This is the recognition of the Rasa, and that Rasa is me. When there is that actual seeing of the Rasa as me, then you have Jnana. Title is clear. So, from this title itself, we have to take a little word of warning. The warning is, in the head, intellectually, logically, you understand Rasa, but you don't see it. That is a big red flag. There can be an image of Rasa in the mind, and there can be the actual seeing of the Rasa moment to moment to moment. Homework number 1 for you. Do I recognize the difference between the image of the rasa and the actual rasa. It is very important for me to become clear that I am not stuck in the image of the rasa. If one is stuck with the image of the rasa, then one assumes that one is seeing the rasa. This will become another idea, another concept. This will not be actual seeing. To understand, open up what could be the image of rasa and how do I figure out, recognize that if I'm perceiving through a concept, that is not actual seeing. Concept cannot transform into inner wisdom. And therefore, when it's not transformed into inner wisdom, I will never ever recognize the non-duality, the no-two. I will be stuck into. I will always have an I and the other, and there will be a constant conflict. The conflict itself is the sign that I'm perceiving through a concept of rasa. I am not actually seeing the rasa. Very clear? Concept means idea, borrowed knowledge, Ekta's knowledge, Atmananda's knowledge, that which I have accepted to be true, that which is a belief. All these are concepts, ideas, borrowed knowledge. These are all images. Very clear? So the main question here is, let me personally recognize the distinguishing factor between the image of the rasa and the actual rasa. Because until and unless I become clear, I will never know whether I am fooling myself or do I really see it. And the conviction has to come from within. Ekta cannot give me conviction. Atmananda cannot give me conviction. Only my actual seeing will reveal that there is no seer. There is no I. That actual seeing reveals there is no sight. There is no drishya. So no drig, no drishya. Drig drishya was Advaita level 1, remember. It was just a stepping stone to bring me to Advaita level 2 and finally to Advaita level 3 where we are Jatvad. So there is no seer and there is no sight. There is simply seeing, seeing, seeing. It is non-dual. In it, there is total harmony and there is no room for conflict. You evaluate yourself. Am I stuck? If I'm stuck, I see seer and seen, observer and the observed, attender and that which is attended to. I see a two. I'm stuck in drig and drishya. That means final seeing has not happened yet. When the I and the other both collapse, both have to collapse, remember. I and the other both collapse. There is harmony, there is no conflict. What is. There is no label of pleasant or unpleasant, no label of ugly or beautiful, no labels, no argument in the mind, no self-talk, no analysis about it should be like this, it should not be like this, no judgment. There is no criticism and there is no praise also. There is no prejudice, no opinion, no desire to make a decision because I am not. There is no like and dislike. All these come under the umbrella of desire, remember. Basically, there is no center. When there is actual seeing, there is no center from which you are functioning. All the conflicts are absent because there is no central I versus the other, versus the world. Yeah, all conflicts are absent. No argument, no self-talk, no analysis, no judgment, no criticism, nothing, no prejudice, no opinion, no decision, no like, dislike, nothing. No desire at all. Then you know that you're operating from that which is devoid of a center. You're functioning from the periphery. Yeah, those who've done the retreat, I have covered a little bit in the retreat. There is no vasana, but there is vichara. You remember this, we've done this very clearly. There is no desire, but the regular thought, feeling, sensation, perception is there. Yeah, when you can clearly see the natural thought which belongs to the flow arises, but there is no jumping in and grabbing of the thought. That means vasana is absent. What is there of the flow without labeling. Vichara is there without labeling. I have learned to function without a center. Clear? That is the testimony for actual attention without an attender, actual observation without an observer, actual seeing without a seer. Then you can say, yes, I have truly realized the rasa. Vichara is an inherent part of the rasa. But vasana is not. Vasana belongs to the I. Vichara is the natural perception, sensations, thoughts, feelings, the flow which is the rasa. But now there is no more labeling of the vichara. It is simply under the umbrella of vichara. There is no more labels there. Vasana comes up. Recognize what is vasana. There is an identification with that perception or that sensation or that thought or that feeling. Identification means jumping in and claiming ownership. Saying this is mine, or this is happening to me, or I am doing it, or I am not doing it, or it is not happening to me and I want it to happen. You see, this is all claiming ownership. This is vasana, the claiming. When there is a true recognition of the rasa, when you have really seen, at that time there is no I, there is no individual personal self, there is no individual soul, there is no ego. There is no person. All these are concepts built around that vasana. Recognize this. Vasana wants validation, confirmation for its existence because it is not real, it is not permanent. It just comes up in the moment when it identifies with a perception, sensation, thought and feeling, claiming ownership of it. When the perception, sensation, thought or feeling collapses because of its own shelf life, as a wave has to collapse back into the ocean, this vasana or the I feels very restless. It needs more validation. Yeah, so it creates a story linking the identification with the perception, the identification with the thought, the identification with the feeling, the identification with the sensation. It creates a story. That is memory. And it holds on to this memory for dear life. Why? Because it is seeking validation, confirmation, I exist. Yeah, this is Vasana. So whenever you notice that the sense of I exist is being reinforced by some validation, by some confirmation, by some external affirmation, know that you are not in the rasa. You are lost in vasana. Yeah. How do I know that I am in the rasa? What would be the inquiry? How would I know? What would be that insight? What would be the testimony that I am in the rasa? What will give me the proof? The realization of a rasa is like tasting love, supreme love. In love, there is no question of decision. I cannot decide I want to be in love with this person and I don't want to be in love with this person. Have you noticed this? Love simply is. Yeah. Now I'm talking at the personal love. Multiply this by 10 times or 100 times. That is supreme love. There is no decision there. There is no choice there. There is no selection there. There is no identification. Yeah. There is no two. There is no idea of a me loving the other. It is devoid of identification. It is not my love or your love. It is simply the sweet flavor of love, the sweet taste of supreme love. Recognize this, as long as there is an I, me, mine, there can never be love. Have you noticed this? Even in personal love, till the time you hold on to I, me, mine, there is no love happening there. It is just a trade, a business trade, a transaction going on. You give me this and I give you this back. And then we label it as love. Both are happy. No, this is false love. Where you truly fell in love. Yeah, if you don't have that in your current relationship, think about your unconditional love that you had with your childhood sweetheart. Yeah, or with mama. There was never this that you give me this, then only I love you, mama. No. It was just love. Yeah, the way it was innocent, unconditional, no labels. Yeah, no identification. Pure love. You had a glimpse of it. You had a taste of it. Multiply that little taste by 100 times. That supreme love is there for everything when there is the real seeing of the rasa. That supreme love, that I, me, mine, cannot stand only. It collapses, it dies, it dissolves. It ends. It ends. Okay, I'm going to take 10 years of practice of supreme love to get there. No, it's instantaneous. A child does not have to practice to be in love with the mother. There's no practice there. Do you see why the Dvaitam path practices, techniques fall on their face? Because of this. Because the truth is that the recognition of the rasa is instantaneous, immediate. Either it is or it is not. Simple. So when the I, me, mine dies, the recognition of rasa turns to the flavor of prema, love. Prema. Supreme love it is. And it matures a little more, blossoms a little more. From the prema comes bliss, ananda. The param ananda, the highest form of happiness, supreme happiness, bliss. that which does not have an opposite. Normally you see happiness is the opposite of sadness, but this is supreme happiness. That is why it is called Ananda, that which does not have an opposite. And finally, from Ananda blossoms Moksha. It's like it opens petal by petal. First Prema, then Ananda, and finally Moksha. Moksha is that lasting peace. Now remember, for this beautiful flower to blossom, I, me, mine must end. It must end. Not by suppression, not by destroying it forcefully, not by believing that it is destroyed, not by intellectualizing and analyzing it. Yeah? These are all the wrong ways. There is no technique, no methodology, no procedure that can take you there. No meditation. I sit for so many hours and meditate and I'll get there. Etc., etc., etc. Yeah, whatever. No chanting, no mantra, no blessing, no external God or Guru. No. None of these are going to help me. Simply seeing, not concentrating, not knowing it choicelessly, but seeing, seeing. The third one, seeing will take me there. Only seeing will take me there. Question that you have to ask yourself: do I see this rasa as I, me, mine? And do I realize that the I, me, mine is suffering itself? Only if I see the rasa as I, me, mine, and I have the courage to accept that this I, me, mine is suffering, only after that I will be able to gather the courage to end the I, me, mine and simply be with the rasa as it is. So this is homework number 1 or homework number 2. Do I see that the rasa is I, me, mine, and that the I, me, mine is only suffering? See, all this while we were on the spiritual path, stumbling and falling and again slipping and getting up, again dusting clothes, again walking, again stumbling, again falling, and repeat. In this whole process, there was a non-agreement. I did not want to end the I, me, mine. Is that still there? Do you see that? The difference? It's not that you are unable to end. You don't want to end it. It's not that you are unable to wake up. You don't want to wake up. And you see what I'm saying? All this while, I have been dragging because I don't want to wake up. Is this recognition there? And number 2, do I have the courage to accept it? This is the next homework. Only if I have the courage to accept it can I move forward. Otherwise, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to complete all the chapters of Atma Darshan with the same non-agreement of or lack of courage of ending the I, me, mine. Pointless, no? Do you see what I'm saying? See, mind creates a story, Mind creates a story. One day I will end the I, me, mine. One day I will get enlightened. Yeah, so what has mind created? It has created first false time. and then it creates a false space. So, not just time and space, it creates a false action that one day I will get to enlightenment. So, to get there, I have to do so many more things. So, false action is created. All is psychological. Time is psychological, space is psychological, the one that is going to do the action is psychological, the action itself is psychological. The whole story is psychological. Doership is psychological. Experiencership is psychological. One day I will experience enlightenment. So it is psychological. Psychological means created by mind in an instant. None of it is true. None of it really exists. All is a belief, all an idea, all a concept to keep dragging your feet and increase the length of the spiritual path. Are you seeing this? The eye is looking for a validation, a confirmation, an affirmation. Why? Because it is unreal, no? Time was just created, the action was just created, doership just created, experiencership just created. The whole story was just created. And the one who created it, the I, it knows. Somewhere deep down, you know the truth. You know it is all false. But you want to keep believing it to be real. That is why we keep running behind the story. And this running behind the story is suffering. Now that you've reached this level, do you have the courage to accept, yes, I was creating my own suffering. Now I'm ready to end it. I'm done. Is this clear? How the non-agreement to ending the drama of I, me, mine created suffering? It created doership, experiencership. It's all suffering. Time is suffering, space is suffering, action is suffering. Inaction is also suffering. Enjoyment is suffering. Not enjoying is also suffering. All suffering born out of I, me, mine, wanting to validate itself. Yeah. So, are you ready? Do you have the courage? Are you done with the world yet? Are you like fed up? I'm done with this. Yes, then you are ready. Otherwise, you should not even try to run ahead with the further chapters.